Do you think semis will go back to previous levels, or did it peak? You're asking the wrong question. You're asking me what I think consumer and retail and inflow sentiment's going to be. Leverage, right? Nobody trades individual stocks anymore, bro. Let me tell you a little secret, okay? 70% of trades now are leveraged ETFs and options. Do you understand what that means? This is a casino, bro. This is a fucking casino. That's what it's become. Not for you, because you're smart and you're an investor. Don't bet in the casino. Invest in the casino. Because this isn't a zero-sum game, right? It is going to keep pushing this up one way or the other. Somebody's on one side of the trade, somebody's on the other, that there's always going to be buyers just going to push it up. Just play the long game. Just play the long game. People just don't understand until it's too late in life that they get in their own damn way. Do you understand what compounding does when you get to certain levels? I mean, there's Costco. There was a story a couple weeks ago about Costco employees who are retiring millionaires and they've only been cashiers, right? Like because they invest and they take advantage of employee stock programs and an employee and they don't turn over. They stay in that and it's about compounding. But people don't understand that, so they wait too long or they try to get risky early and they don't play the long game. I mean, if you just understood how the difference, because I want you to understand something. In the beginning, when you're putting away a couple $1,000s a year, it doesn't seem like much, right? 7% doesn't seem like that much. 7% of $1,000 is only $70. But when you get to $10,000, it's $700. When you go to $100,000, that's $7,000 a year on top of whatever you're putting in. So you have to understand something. At 7%, your investment doubles every 10 years. So look at this. There are people out there who should either aren't investing or are trying to do something that's not investing, should keep something like this next to them at all times on the wall. At 7%, which is the average annual return of the S&P 500 over the past 100 years, it's actually more like 9 to 10% over the past 20, but we'll just do this for now. At 7%, your investment, because remember it compounds, doubles every 10 years. So this is why they say the first 100,000 is the most important. It's the most difficult to get, but it's the most important. $1,000 doesn't seem like that much. But if you add your dollar cost averaging and stuff like that, right? And you get up, let's say in the first 10 years, you get to, from 18 to 28. Let's say you're at $20,000, right? You had to put away just a little bit because you couldn't put away as much. You couldn't max out your IRA $7,000 a year. You could do it 20,000. If you never added any more money to that, in 10 years, that would be 40,000. Okay? Let's say this is without ever adding money to it. So at 28 and 38. At 48, it's 80,000. At 58, it's 160,000. And in retirement, at 68, it's 320,000. Now that's if you never added to it. But let's say you just did your dollar cost averaging. Let's say you only put in, I don't know, $500 a month after the time you turn 28. So now you've doubled to 40,000, but you've also added an additional, 50,000 to it, 5,000 a year for 10 years. So now you're at 90,000. Now, let's say you stop at 90,000. 180, 360, 720. $720,000. That's if you stopped at 38. But let's say you continued and you add another 50,000 every 10 years, right? Okay, at the minimum, I'm talking about bare minimum. And I'm not even going to compound that. That's going to be 460 plus another 50,000 because you're doing it that, right? That's at the bare minimum. So now you're doing this and it's compounding a long way. Again, this is why they say the first 100,000 is so important. This is why it's so important. It takes forever to go from 1,000 to 100,000. Takes forever, right? Because that compounding, that doubling is very slow and you're adding little bits at it and it doesn't seem like it's going up. But when you get to that first 100,000, that's when the magic happens. Think about that. Every 10 years. So it goes to 200,000, 400,000, 800,000, 1.6 mil. 40 years. That's without adding. And if you're adding along the way, it just goes exponentially. Sounds good on the whiteboard? Do you know what it sounds better at? 20 years from now when you realize you're going to be 20 years older in 20 years anyways, you could have a lot more fucking money. All the people looking at the people who did it slow and let the process take hold are the ones who were like, man, I really wish when I was sitting in that Twitch stream, I didn't say some doomer shit like, oh, that's a long time. Because guess what? It goes by like that. Now you're like, wow, if I wasn't sitting there bitching and moaning and feeling sorry for myself and saying that's just too long to wait and actually did it, I'd be sitting a lot better, except I'm not because I didn't do that. Now I'm fucking broke while everybody else at my age who did do that is doing a lot better. I'm serious. You're gonna try to get rich quick and you're gonna lose all of it. And then time goes on and the fucking S&P 500 is up like 100% in 4 years. 5 years, which is unheard of. People who were like, 20 years to get 100%, 10 years to be 100% is going to be done. They got lucky and it's in 5 years. And now 10 years from now, it's going to double. And all the people who guarantee you, there's people in here who only 5 years ago decided, you know what? I'm not just going to buy VU and S&P ETFs. I'm going to try and get rich. And instead of being up 100% plus divvies, they're negative on their accounts. And the people who 5 years ago bought it and forgot about it are living their life. This person stressed out, tried doing this shit all the time, every day, and they're still red. Or up 50%. Even if they're up 100%, they did all that work for the same return. Yeah, but it only went from 10,000 to 20,000. Yeah, you saved like 6 years of investing. So now that compounding is even faster. So give us like 5 good ETFs to get into right now. You only need one. VU, what are you talking about? Or VTI, who cares? They're almost the same. 0.03% expense fee while giving you a 1.1% dividend, and you get the total market S&P ETF? Are you fuck out of here with anything else? If you're like under 30 years old and you don't have like a lot of commitments, fucking throw some of that shit in the queues. Because guess what? But what if we have a 2000.com bubble pullback? Cool. It's going to drop 50%, but it's 50% of money that's not even yours. It's for future, and you get to buy 50% down? Fuck yeah, let's go. Let's do it. But what if it takes like 10 years to recover? I get 10 years of buying the dip? All of your arguments, all of your doomer arguments are bullish. Unless you're over 50, you don't give a shit. You want this shit to happen. Unless it's an economic crash that causes you to lose your job and you can't add to the market. Other than that, you want that shit. Did you calculate tax? Shut the fuck up. Get that tax doomer shit. Oh my God, did you calculate that I don't pay tax? Yes, the more you make, the more taxes you have to make. Because you only pay taxes on money you make. On gains. Oh good, I don't want to make gains because I might have to pay taxes on it. I'd like an additional $700,000, but no, because if I make $1 million, I only get $700,000 of it. I'd rather just have nothing instead of that. Because that's what I did. I'm so good at this. I listened to a political streamer who told me that the market's for gambling, and I'm just going to sit back and do this. Yes. Shut up, okay? Make money. Go hunt human beings like the rest of us, motherfucker. All right, stop being stupid. Yes, actually, I calculated the quantum this of this right here. Okay, I'm sorry, that's some Rothschild shit, my bad. You pay taxes on shit you make. It's like not understanding the tax system. Ooh, no, I want to take that raise, but then instead of paying 24% taxes, I'm going to pay 30% taxes. That's too much. You only pay more taxes on the money you make over that threshold. It doesn't touch the rest of your money. Who's telling you this shit? You don't automatically get paid. All my income is now paid at 30%, so I better not take the raise. Bro, the extra $3,000 that you get into that gets paid an extra. Oh no, you got to pay extra $50 in tax. Better not take the $14,000 raise because you might pay $30 in tax. Woogie boogie.